back in the theater. Jared and I are there, everybody. Like, this is gonna be great, this is gonna be awesome. The doors open, Jared takes off, I go,
and I was like, save yourself, I'm going.
I may have heard somebody go, we got it working. I'm like,
I'd love to have seen the dejected walk of you.
oh yeah, no, it was like, if you listen closely, you could hear the Charlie Brown song.
Totally. And you're going.
You can taste the tears.
That was,
That's sadness.
Meanwhile, you're racking up one hell of a bird bill right now. You're still on the
well,
clock.
dude, I was like, hey, I promise.
but yeah, somebody might
I'll have the
want
bird
to shut that off
You gotta take a picture too that you've parked it.
on stage.
You made an email from Bird. That appears like you're inside of a hotel.
So let's say we actually had these on the elevator a minute ago, and I'm like, somebody at headquarters is going, these are traveling vertically. Somebody, can we, yeah, Unit 24,
I kept working, so I don't know what you did.
Alright, well enjoy. Jensen and Jared.
So when you get to be my age, sometimes the equipment fails. That's just, thank you.
But you know,
Happy to be here.
he's a few years older, so my equipment is still in tip-top shape. My equipment failed.
That was a joke.
Well, I was lying.
See what happens?
It's better when you explain it, though, Jared.
It's better when you explain it.
It's funnier in a Nokia. Hey, holy moly, a lot of people, any people first time? Nobody? Welcome, guys, gals, Mr. Jensen Ackles.
Hey! Mr. Jared Pellet.
We decided for this con that he would show up with Sam hair and I would do Dean hair. So I hope y'all forget. I can't do. He's got these like dragged eyelashes, so I'm doing this number like. You're like, what do you do?
Do dragons have eyelashes?
Don't pretend you know.
Dragon eyelashes and crocodile tears. That's.
All tears because you broke your scooter.
Yeah.
Hey,
Bird's gonna get a strongly worded letter later today. You embarrassed me in front of all of my friends.
Thank y'all, first and foremost, so much. It feels a bit, I don't want to say bizarre, but it feels pretty freaking cool to all care about a show that this guy and I worked on for 15 and a half years. It's been gone for over a year. We still get to kind of get together with some family members from Never Done. I agree, and that's kind of what I was saying. No, thank you. But I feel like it's a cool new thing to talk about this little old show that could, with friends from another mother. So, thank you. So, we're going to start and see if we have some fun questions. I'm going to start on my side since I kind of made a pretty cool entrance. So I get to vote.
Yeah, man, that's all you got. I'll just be here.
From the side that had the scooter entrance. How are you? Good talk. Okay, other side. Teasing. Hey, how are you?
Oh, shit.
Hey, do you mind not using fucking curse words?
You have to be nice.
Please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, I'm a diabetic.
Teasing.
Having a hypoglycemic emergency, so I'm like trying to drop.
Somebody bring us Snickers.
No, I'm good. Anyways, I wanted to ask you guys, now that the show's over and you guys, you aren't acting in the roles of Sam and Dean anymore, do you find yourself doing mannerisms or having the thoughts that Sam and Dean would have had? Like, if you're in situations, like, you wake up and you're super cool and you're like, oh shit, there's a ghost. Or like lights are flickering, or you read a weird piece in the news and you're like, oh crap, we gotta start hauling ass down there. Like, do you guys have thoughts about that?
First and
So
foremost.
you're asking if we actually think that we are Sam and Dean?
We
Just
actually
briefly.
are Sam. I would be lying if I said it never occurred to me that when it's cold inside or a light flickers, I'm not like, I'm on it. I stayed at the Driscoll Hotel. Anybody from Austin or been to Austin? Driscoll Hotel has been there for 130 years. And I guess it's haunted, and I found that out in a funny way. But I did end up in the room, and our Jen and I did like a staycation kind of thing. Leave the kids with the nanny. And so we're sitting there, and the light flickers behind me, and I was like, all right, if you're in here, you know who I am. I was like, I'm chill, man. I'm cool, I'm chill. Like, just looking to have a good night with my wife. Like, let's be cool. And it stopped flickering. I also then unscrewed the light bulb, so it didn't flicker. But yeah, but I know some secrets. I know some shortcuts. Jensen?
Well, to just kind of answer the question, no, I don't necessarily read articles that go, I better suit up. Where's baby? Although I could. But I was just touching on what Jared said. So I'm currently in New Orleans getting ready to shoot a new show. And the family came with me, and so instead of staying in a hotel for 4 or 5 weeks, we got a Airbnb or VRBO. I don't know. I didn't pick it out. But when I showed up, I realized, whoa, how old is this house? Because they've got some old ones in New Orleans. This one's 178 years old. I was like, what? 178-year-old home. And it's beautiful. They obviously put it through some renovations and stuff, but it's at the top. There's a third story, and it's big, long staircases all the way to the top, and they have like this kind of office, room up there. And so I had to do a Zoom call the other day. This was just last week, and it has a pitched roof. Roof. It has a pitched roof, and so there's these little like closet doors that are right under the pitched ceiling, and they're maybe like this high, just two, and they've kind of like a vented door, and there's just little storage closets. Well, they're behind me, and I'm having a Zoom meeting, and I just hear this. And then I didn't see anything. Look around, nothing. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, and then I just kind of kind of like looking over my shoulder. Sure enough, this little door slowly, like, and as soon as I look, so now I think, oh, one of my kids is up here. They're messing with me. So I walk over there, open it up. Nada. Nothing in there but some, cleaning supplies. I close the door, walk away. It's open. Just that, that much. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, really? Are we doing this? So I turned my camera off on the Zoom to go investigate this little occurrence, right? I go back to the Zoom and I'm like, guys, check this out. I move my camera over, like, just wait for it, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Don't do this to me. Don't do this. And right, it opens like 4 inches, and it closes, and I'm like, and so I'm like, cool, right? Ghosts. Thanks. And I sat back down and I finished my Zoom, and people on the other side of the Zoom were like, that was a joke, right? I'm like, nope. You're not freaking out and running downstairs? Aren't you scared? No. Why not? You have 15 years of experience under my belt. Why would I be scared of something like that? It's literally caught my friend.
So we got it. Y'all got
Yeah,
this.
so we're good.
We've all done our research. Y'all, us, we're all like made men and women. Ghosting and messing with us.
And okay, you might be right. I might have just, as soon as it closed, I went, Simi! Sonia! It was an inside voice.
He also, when he got the computer and was showing it, he goes, son of a bitch!
I did, yeah, it was some expletives. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
My name is Joy, and this is my first convention. My daughter's brought me here for my 70th birthday. And my question to you is, what has been your favorite birthday celebration that you've had over your life?
Oh, jeez. So that's also, I have a big birthday coming up in 3 months. Yeah. And so my wife, I'm turning 40 in July. So Jen is like, okay, listen, I'm gonna do something like fun. I don't want to tell you all about it, but what do you want for birthday? And I went, anything? And she's like, anything. And I go, I love a nap. That's it, a nap. But
That's a tall ask.
it is a tall ask with 3 kids, as you know. But I feel like Atlas is probably the same. Like, I love other people's birthdays. I love celebrating other people. My birthdays are always really uncomfortable. Like, I'm sort of like, why is everybody looking at me? So I feel like some of my Beth birthday parties. Some of my best birthday parties have been like my kids' birthday parties, and them, just being without responsibilities and attachments. So I don't know if I have an answer to that. My 30th was fun in Austin. Got a little like riverboat kind of thing down Lake Austin. And I think for me, I don't know about y'all guys, but just being around friends, being around people with a shared interest and a shared passion feels like a birthday celebration. But being able to celebrate other people, I think, is really special. So I wish I had a better answer. Sorry.
You got a big one coming up. I bet you're gonna remember that one, because I speaking of, my 40th was quite the celebration.
I
gave me two. One at home with all of our friends and family in Texas, and this was the one that really got me. Another one in Vancouver with my family up there, the Supernatural crew and cast, and people like flew in for it. Some of these guys remember that. And they put together, she put together with the help of some of the people in production, they put together a whole video of everybody saying their
And singing a song. We all
and
sing a
yeah,
song.
they sang a song. You guys remember that song? Forever young, I wanna be forever young. Who sings that?
Alphaville, you're right.
Yeah. And so now that song is like, that will forever be that associated with that. But Cliff and Jared and a couple of the other folks up there, they took me out for a birthday dinner at one of our favorite spots up there. And then they were like, oh, and then we're gonna go, what was that? I think we went to dinner and then we were like going somewhere to meet, yeah, we're gonna go like have a drink or something, meet some of the other crew at a place. And I walked in and it was this huge bar and it was like everyone that had been a part of the show for the past like 12 years was there. And
It was completely rinsed out.
the whole place was, and it was just, it was very emotional and it was very cool. And I remember one thing that was requested. I forget whose idea it was, but it was no cell phones. So everybody was just engaged in conversation, and nobody was like taking pictures or hey, can you do this or on their phone. Phones were down, and everybody was just present. And I thought that was really a beautiful thing to be a part of this, and I'll never forget it.
I had the distinct honor at that party to embarrass myself. Not on purpose, but Sarah McLachlan was there, and I'm a huge fan. My wife's a huge fan, and she told me that like she went on her first date.
She's a huge fan of mine. That's why she was there.
Exactly.
No, I honestly had no idea what she was
So
doing.
my,
I told you I was a happy birthday to
you're
somebody.
like,
You're Canadian royalty. What are you?
for sure.
You're a national treasure.
For sure. And she is. And I went up and went like, oh my gosh, nice to meet you. My wife went on her first date with her ex-boyfriend at your concert. She was like, okay. Thanks. And I look over and like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my dear friends for you. Like, I'm gonna leave you alone. So I walked away, but it was a hell of a part and well deserved. Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi. So my question is, in the finale, after Dean died, Sam left the hunting life, but I was
Spoiler
curious.
alert.
What was his day job? I'm very curious.
Oh, he still knew how to print fake credit cards. Listen. He's still great at darts, great at pool, great at poker. Kind of a job. I made money. But I didn't have a job. No, he didn't go to work. I think the way it was in my head when I was shooting those scenes, my son, my wife, as I aged, was that Sam did what Dean would have wanted and spent time at home with his family. So made ends meet. They weren't wealthy by any means, Sam and his family, but he was there. You know, I think a lot of what made Dean Dean and what made Sam Sam was that their mom literally wasn't there, but their dad also wasn't there, even if he was there, you know, corporeally kind of thing. So I think Sam just spent time with his kids, made sure he paid his bills, didn't hurt anybody, and kind of carried on with something.
Thank you.
I like to think that he was some sort of a temp guy, you know, like a variety of jobs. Like maybe he was a substitute teacher, maybe he was a temp secretary at a company, Maybe he filled in for a lawn service. I feel like there's. Yeah, maintenance for an apartment building, you know, it's just, he's a handyman.
People save money when I change light bulbs, because we don't need to have a ladder. I can just reach up and change light bulbs. So, yeah, and I was a scooter tester.
How many Sam Winchesters does it take to screw in a light bulb? Like that's a question we got answered, I think. One.
Oh, another good question. What do the world's fastest marathon runners eat before the marathon? Nothing. They fast.
Let me get some aspirin.
I like that one.
The best thing about Jared telling a joke is that no one laughs harder than Jared at his jokes.
They're so good.
Some jokes he can't even get through. Here we go. Buckle up.
So you know, in Austin we have lakes, and it's the Colorado River with all the lakes. So I can row a boat, canoe. Okay. I have better ones. Yeah. No big deal.
Please, one more.
This guy walks into a butcher shop and says, I'd like one pound of beef jerky and one steak and kidney pie. And the butcher's like, I beg your pardon, you just said, you said kidney. The guy says, no, I didn't. That was good. Come on, guys.
Like I feel like
Come on, guys.
I feel like it shaves years off of my life.
I'll shave years off your life.
I'm mentally Will Smithing him right now. Too soon? No? Good.
Where are we? We are over here.
We should continue.
How are you?
I'm Moniz.
Moniz?
Moniz, yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
It's like the Mona Lisa combined.
I like it.
Thank you.
Great.
I want to know what both of your comfort meals are.
I actually have the answer to that. Genevieve will make tomato soup and grilled cheese, and it was one of the things that she made in Vancouver when we were dating. And I would make something on Tuesday, she'd make something on Friday, and for some reason, like her tomato soup and grilled cheese, that would be my last meal.
Penne alla arrabbiata.
Yeah, true. Yeah. He orders all the time. We'll go to Italian restaurants, either here or Vancouver or Texas or Italy, and he's like, hey, do you have penne alla arrabbiata? And they're like, well, it's on the menu, but we'll check with our chef. And they'll make, it's like spicy sausage.
It's just spicy red sauce and penne pasta. I think it actually means angry pasta. And I just love that.
You laugh like I do. Whoever's there laughing. Jen will stop me and be like, you sound evil when you laugh.
This is my Jared impersonation of Jared telling a joke. Knock, knock.
Evan, yeah. I have a weird laugh. I'm a weird dude. What is your favorite comfort meal?
Prime rib with mashed potatoes and green beans.
Ooh, tell me more.
Okay. Get on board with that for sure.
Keep going. Thank you so much. So sorry, and thank you so much.
It's like enjoyment, but it's like enjoyment, but at the cost of somebody else.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, I wanted to know if you
Sue?
guys.
Sue?
Sue, very
Just Sue,
simple,
not
just
Sue.
Sue.
I thought you said stew.
Well, that could work.
Good, yeah. We'll go with Sue.
I like
Okay.
Sue.
Okay, can you guys put together a big, whole entire series of bloopers? Everybody wants that.
Sue, I'm confident that there are no two people on the planet who want that as bad as he and I do. The good or bad news is that when you're shooting, let's say this is Sue talking to Jared Jensen, and something happens. There's a plane flying over or whatever, and you have to choose in the moment whether you're going to print it or not. And if you print it, then it exists forever. If you don't, then it just gets erased into the ether. So a lot of our greatest gags kind of went away. But I would watch that. I would watch that.
Yeah, there's certainly enough footage to create a 2-hour marathon per season, I would say. You could literally have a 30-hour box set of bloopers.
We agree.
The only problem is, you'd have to get editors who want to look at us as long as they would have to and deal with the shenanigans that happen.
I was the wrong one.
What's your most elaborate prank that you have ever pulled?
We didn't. You know what's funny is that we kind of became known as pranksters, but we weren't pranksters so much as we were like on Supernatural. We would do 5-day weeks. We would often fly to cities like Indianapolis, the suburbs from here, but Jacksonville, or Toronto, or New York, or Chicago, or Dallas, or wherever. And so I think it took many seasons, but we could, when we're like, well, this is life. We're not seeing our family on the weekends. We're going back and we're working from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. literally. And so like, let's laugh when we can. And so it was more about making the crew around us laugh and making our fellow cast members laugh, because being brutally honest, it sucks sometimes. Like your son who's in Austin, and your daughter and your wife are in Austin, you're in Vancouver, they got to fight at school, or they got a bad grade, or they have a bad night. And so then they're like, hey, we're ready for you on set. And you're like, hey, baby, I gotta go. I love you. You're gonna hang out. And you're like, I can't go to set in this attitude. So I've gotta go to set and just like share a laugh and like cleanse the palate. And so we weren't really elaborate pranksters as much as when we got to set, it was like, hey, we're playing pretend for a little bit. Like, can we all just laugh? Like, can can we all just break the ice and like release the pressure out? So I don't know if there was a super elaborate.
Yeah, it wasn't like these long drawn out, thought out type of gags. It was just an environment that we helped create along with our other castmates and crew of truly enjoying being there and in each other's company and having fun doing what we're doing. Because like any job, there's certain days that are just tough. It's tough, and it would be nice to stay home. But we always chose to enjoy the days and enjoy the moments and cut up and not take it so seriously. And I think that really made all the difference because it created an environment where we felt comfortable, we felt at ease, we could be creative, but we could also, and they felt comfortable, we could also have fun and laugh all the time. I don't think there was ever a day that I did not laugh on the set of Supernatural.
And I think one of the best, I totally agree, I think one of the best moments, I don't remember the exact moment, but I feel like for Jensen and me, one of the best moments was when one of the crew members would openly make fun of us. And we're like, that's great, because we're just humans also. We happen to be in front of the camera, not behind the camera. We're not holding a boom, we're not setting up, but yes, make fun of us. Like, let's all we don't take ourselves seriously. We're not like, hey, cool shit. Like, it's like, no, like, tease me. Like, let's all tease each other.
We had two cameras at all time on the show. We had A camera, we had a B camera, and with each camera comes at least a crew of 4. So you have your operator, you have your focus puller, you have your dolly grip, and you have your second camera assistant, which would be the person loading the cameras and changing the lenses and marking it with the slate and stuff like that. So there are generally 4 people responsible for each camera. Our B camera was they were the jokesters, a little looser than our A camera, generally speaking. There were multiple times where, like for one, it was opening up a door to a basement that, Dean was on the hunt. So open up the door and the stair goes down, and at the bottom of the stairs was Rosie, our B camera operator, on a handheld, looking up at me. And next to him was Dean, the focus puller, and next to him was Gilmore, the dolly grip, and then Pete Hunter, the second assistant. And I opened the door the first time, and they're all down there. I kind of shine my flashlight, and then I start to walk down the stairs. That's a cut. I think the second or third time I opened the door, I opened it, and they were all in their underwear. and Rosie had a ball gag around his head. And this is the camera operator. The camera on his head, and he's just like.
This just became a meme.
Yeah, but because that's just our set, and that's what we do. I just literally went, opened the door, saw them, was like. And that was one of many. So we would cut up on set and in front of the camera, but our crew was also, they felt so comfortable that they could do stuff like that, and we just loved it. We loved that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Hi. Well, you guys are so awesome.
I know.
You're wrong and you're so cute. Get out my nose.
She's sweet. It's getting better. You're cute too. What's your name?
Christina.
Ruthina?
I saw you yesterday. I took a picture with you.
Wait, what? I just said, wait, what? That's nice. Wait, Ruthina,
You said you took a picture yesterday with us?
We did an autograph yesterday. You did pictures together today.
yeah. Oh, you smell so
Me too. So, what is your favorite?
What?
What is your favorite stunt?
Oh, great question. Thank you.
Stud?
Stud. He's my favorite stud.
Next.
Well,
Stunt? Or stud?
Your favorite
Killer.
stunt.
You're gonna
So
kill
you guys do something together.
Thank you, Beck. My favorite stunt, I want to see if you can stop it. My favorite stunt, or I mean, how do you gauge it really after 327 episodes? But I think the one that comes to mind is when he and I think after now, like episode 10 of season 4, jumped through the church window, and they had built, like if this is the floor outside, they had built that whole interior church. We were like 12 to 15 feet up, and so we were in this scene. And they're like, yeah, so we're gonna put these pads outside. They're gonna run and jump through. And it's not glass, it's like candied glass, so it won't catch us. And it could, but we think it will. You should cover your face. And so then, it's one thing if you're like, okay, I'm jumping onto that ground. Like, that's fine. But you put something in front of you, and your body doesn't want, your body or brain or mind or whatever, doesn't want to just jump. It's like, what if they prank us? Like, pull away the stunt hat. Because we went into free fall from,
This is like a second story window.
it was basically a second story window,
Yeah.
and we were jumping through candy glass.
That was opaque.
It was, it was opaque, you couldn't see through it. So we're like, well, we go around, and Lieb said, you're like, okay, I see the stunt pads. And I see all the stunt men and women, like, making sure we're okay. Okay, fine. And then you climb the stairs, you get up there, and you're like, shit, what if they moved it? I'll be right back. You go downstairs. You're like, okay, no, it's all good. Okay, all right, I'm ready. And then we literally, like, ran and just launched ourselves through the stained glass opaque windows and we were high enough to go into free fall, which is really a weird feeling if y'all haven't done it. Because, I mean, like, why would people do it? You know, you jump into a pool or whatever, you're still kind of traveling. But once you get to that point where all of a sudden you're just going down, it's a really unsettling feeling. So we did it twice. That was my favorite to do, for sure.
There's lots to choose from. It was, I really enjoyed the reverse 180 I had to do with Baby. I didn't get to do a lot of the stunt driving. I did a lot of the driving, like us pulling into town or us, jumping in the car and taking off and stuff, but I didn't get to do a lot of the actual stunt maneuvers, not because I wouldn't, but because they would generally do that. Well, they would do that like with a separate splinter unit, and have, while we're filming on main unit, they'll take the camera and they'll go down the road and they'll shoot my stunt double doing some maneuvers or sliding around the corner and stuff like that. So I just wasn't available to do it. They would do them without me there. But that one, I was like, they strapped the camera to the front of the hood, and I was like, all right, I'd never done that before. And so I practiced like 2 or 3 times at lunch, and I was like, nah, I got it. So we came back and we shot it, and I think I did like 3 takes, and I finally got it. But that was kind of cool, like spinning a car that big into a full 180. That was fun. Yeah, we got to do a lot of fun stuff. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I kind of want to apologize because I'm kind of bringing it down, but I know Sam and Dean have gone through a lot of loss, and we see them how to deal with it on screen. As someone who just went through a pretty tragic loss, how do you guys personally deal with that?
gosh, honestly, I'm so sorry for your loss. And you're surrounded by love and friends right now and family. But I think it's just sort of move forward, you know, like how would that, and I say this to my wife often. I'm like, hey, you know, like my parents have high blood pressure, and I have high blood pressure, like, so maybe if I leave this world before y'all do, like, focus on the next day, focus on the next week, the next month, like, just move forward the way I would want you to move forward, knowing that I love you more than anything, would do anything for you, and so loss and grief is fucking difficult. It's confusing, you know, and no one, I don't think anybody has the answer. If they do, I haven't heard it. But I would just say, you know, don't forget that whoever you lost lives on through you. And how would they want to live on through you? And who are you, the people around you? How do you treat the people around you? How do you treat the gas station attendant and your boss and your employee and your barista at Starbucks? And so that person can live on forever through you and the way you treat people that you learn from them. So that's kind of what I would lean towards.
I think, to echo Jared, condolences, sorry for your loss. It's never easy, no matter how or when or why or who. But, you know, I think that the way that people deal with grief is certainly individual. I don't think that there is a bag of tricks or a list of things, boxes to check that get you to the other side. It's your own journey. You know, I've dealt with some pretty big tragedy in the past 6 months. I choose to celebrate instead of mourn, and I try to talk about and think about and focus on what that person or individual, how they enriched my life, and not focus on that they're gone. So look, that may not help you. I just know that that's helped me. So it's really up to you to find what the journey that you need to go on to help you, and no one can really tell you that by yourself.
Hi there.
Hi, my name is Alyssa. I was wondering what your favorite and least favorite scenes to film were.
Oh.
Like one scene that was my favorite, but also my least favorite? Dean's death.
Oh, yeah, that sucked. That sucked.
It was tough, man.
It was tough.
That was a tough day.
Yeah.
And we still had 3 more days of filming after shooting that scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember you and I both were like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's tapping out. So
and we also had, what, 8 months with that scene
to think about it.
Think about it, because we had pandemic. We had the script. It's like, oh, we'll see you in 6 months. Huh? So, like, going through it over and over, and it's one of those funny scenes. I don't know about you guys, but like for me, I usually, when I act, I just go through the scenes over and over and over again until I'm bored, and then I go through it twice as much. With that scene, I was like, I can't keep reading this. I can't keep reading this because I'm reading it as Sam, and it's heartbreaking. That scene sucked.
But at the same, like, yes, it was really difficult to do. But at the same time, like, he and I was very proud of what he and I did in that moment. That may not have been what you meant by that question. You probably wanted us to pick a favorite scene and then a scene we didn't like to do, but I combined the two. You're welcome.
And he was right. Thanks a bunch. Thanks, Alyssa, wherever you are. Are you still over there? Sorry, that's really good. That's my
She's walking the cage. She's like, that wasn't what I asked, guys.
my sister's middle name, so I feel a connection. Sorry.
My name is Chloe. I'm here with my friend Devin. We're both really.
Sorry, one more time,
My
please.
name's Chloe. I'm here with my friend Devin. We're both really big fans of your horror movies, like House of Wax,
With
Friday the 13th.
horror movies. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, My Bloody Valentine, House of Wax, Friday the 13th, yours. Is there any?
New York Minute.
Is there any, like, I know it was filmed during Supernatural's run, so were there any, like, type of, like, on-set antics you brought to those sets or just memorable moments in general from those movies?
Oh, wow. House of Wax was during Gilmore Girls. Or as we all refer to it.
No, nobody does.
OGD. No. Or like, Dean the First. Don't make me do it. Man, we did burn a studio down in Australia during House of Wax. We, during Friday the 13th, shot in Austin. Had a really good time. What was? I had to go back for reshoots. Oh, this is funny. So between seasons 3 and 4, which is like I shot Friday the 13th in 08 in Austin, and my key makeup artist on Friday the 13th is my makeup artist on Walker. A lot of same crew and this thing. Thank you. No, thank you. But it was a funny, like, in negotiations, we were sort of like, listen, we're gonna need reshoots. We need the week of Thanksgiving off, because prior we'd only had like Thursday off of Thanksgiving and maybe Friday. And so we got it, and then so season 5 we were like, well, we're gonna do that again. So like gradually, step by step. But it's just kind of a funny situation. I remember Derek Mears, who played Jason in our movie, was like this big, super kind guy. Does anybody here watch UFC? You know, like Brock Lesnar is, or maybe so he comes to the reshoots, and he has a black eye, and he's like really bruised up, and he's a big dude. And I'm like, dude, what happened? He's like, I was training. I was like, training what? And he's like, my friend has a big fight coming up. And I was like, no way. And like, so what's going on? He's like, well, my friend is fighting for a championship or a title, and I'm most similar to his opponent in a month or whatever. And I was like, tell me more. And I love UFC. He's like, oh, well, I was training with Randy Couture because I'm very similar in size and stature to Brock Lesnar. And so we were training together. It's like, I'm never gonna piss you off. I don't want to piss anybody off, but him, least of all. He had some crazy experiences on My Bloody.
I mean, it was,
Real quick, something just occurred to me, I'm sorry. So my craziest My Bloody Valentine experience was, we're in Vancouver, and her and Ackles and I like have one of the days off, and there's a theater in Vancouver that has 3D glasses, and they're like, well, I think maybe even I said, like, y'all are stars that we can't walk in and like sit in the theater before the movie starts, because people will be like, what the hell? And so they're like, yeah, good. And so maybe like 60 seconds into the movie, we get our glasses and we walk in the theater. We're in like row 3, and it's dark, it looks like this. And I was laughing because it's 3D goggles or whatever, the glasses. And I was thinking that people behind us and in front of us must have been like looking at them in the theater, actually. And then on camera being like, dude, these glasses are amazing. Because people were looking, they were like, holy shit. Jensen Ackles is actually here, because he was actually there. Like, he was actually there, and I was looking around like, yeah.
watching the screen, turn around. We're watching the screen, and we're in like the third row, and the person behind me is like, 3D, this is so cool, man. This is gonna be great, this is gonna be 3D. And then with glasses on, I just turn around and go, 4D, bitch.
This is amazing. Kaboom.
I didn't do that.
He did. Thank you so much.
Oh, no. So that means some of you haven't been here before. So we are to our final question of the evening. No, it's the last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. There will be no more questions after that. There you go. Last question. I forbid it. It's the last question. One only. It's it. This is it though, right? No more questions. It's the last question. Oh, it's the last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. Give it a
So, Indianapolis, as our interview comes to a close, we have Sandy here.
I say it.
Sandy, where are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Richmond, Indiana.
All right, a local Indian alien.
Stop.
Indian.
Stop talking. Hoosier.
Don't just say Hoosier.
Okay, somebody might do attend to her daughter. She just said that she might be crapping her pants right now.
Get toilet paper on
Can we
aisle 3.
get some TV out here? Maybe a wet wipe?
2 ply, please. Okay.
Maybe just clear the bathrooms, the lines.
And how old is your daughter? She must be a baby.
She just turned 41.
So she's 41.
So clearly there's some dietary issues happening. Maybe something she has for lunch. You never know.
Yeah.
Who here has never crapped their pants? I fucking love y'all. Not a single hand raised. You're like,
It is just like one of those. Who here has crapped their pants?
I said who has never crapped their pants, and no one raised their hand. And for that I love you.
Oh, got it.
I'm not very close to you. I'm not going to hug you or touch your butt. Sorry, Sandy.
This
we
is taking
digress.
a left turn to shitville. That's thank you. Hey. Apologies. Let's have that last question.
Okay. First of all, you two are beautiful. I just
You're beautiful. It's the light.
So, over the years, Supernatural went, all storylines. And I was just wondering, when you finally realized that God was going dark, did it freak you out? Get to a point where you would say something and it gets
So, I'm glad.
So
How long can we keep this going?
So we've known Rob for many years before Chuck went dark. So I feel like I think Ackles will agree that having known Rob for many years, and so they say that with writing TV shows, a movie's one thing. You put a script out, it's 120 pages, and you film. With a TV show, the writers start to write to complement the actor, the human's natural instincts. Wait with me, wait. So, anyways,
Get there.
yeah, like, Jensen's very funny. He has great physical comedy. So Dean
Jared's funny looking. So there's.
So I had. I also get long hair, so the writers would say like, hey. Got it. So the writers start to write towards people's natural instincts and their habits, kind of who they are as a person. And so Jensen and I met Rob in like season 6. And we were like,
Have you figured out where this is going yet?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
okay. So we knew that if he stayed on long enough, Chuck was going to be evil.
It's not true, guys. It's not. Just because he played Sam doesn't mean he's right all the time.
I think, in all honesty, Rob is best human being on the planet. But I think the initial, and Rob has maybe touched on this, I'm not sure, but Rob initially was Eric Kripke's joke on Eric Kripke. He was like, hey, as a writer, I kind of like create this world, and I read an episode about bees, and I read an episode where they're like in the snow outside being around. He's like, I kind of sound like diabolical, and so that's kind of where it went, you know? Yeah. It was Kripke kind of making a joke about Kripke. But I love Rob and I love Chuck. Was that your question?
Jared, that was a great answer. What happened over here?
There's so much happening right now. She asked me her real question just now.
Oh, dude.
Were the beers real? Because I think somebody just had a few before she got up here.
Apparently, yes.
Let's just say that not all the time.
Yeah. We can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yours were real, that you just had.
She's like, I'm done. Get me off of the stage.